June 10th. Let me begin by the same way I begin every day. 146. That's the countdown. 146 days to the most important election of our lives. The key is stay angry. Also, I've got to share some interesting news. Don't put a lot of weight in polls, but they give you a snapshot about what is going on. A brand new Gallup poll came out today. You might recall a month ago, Trump was touting on Twitter, highest Gallup poll rating ever he ever had, like 49%. He was so happy. Guess what? It came out today. Timber down 10 points, 39 points, 57% disapproval right now. 39% approval of Trump. This is horrific. There are STDs more popular than Donald Trump right now. So what are we talking about on the show tonight? Well, very simple. While America is discussing racism, on the very day Congress had hearings on systemic racism in the police force, and on the same day, NASCAR, just minutes ago, banned the Confederate flag from their properties during races. What is Trump doing today? He's defending having U.S. military installations named after Confederate military leaders. I guess it's a preview of his speech on race relations that he promised later in the week. So we're going to go through some of the clips from today's hearing on Capitol Hill, some powerful stuff. George Floyd's brother was great, Floyd, some very constructive comments made by activists, leaders, elected officials, and then the Republicans had their witnesses, which was just ridiculous. For fun, we'll play that. But what else happened today? A short time ago, we heard NASCAR is going to ban the Confederate flag at all of its races. And obviously, this is in response to what is going on. It's an awakening in this country that this kind of playful bigotry of a Confederate flag, as you like the design, no, it's no longer permissible. And they put a statement just a short time ago saying that the presence of the Confederate flag runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors in our industry. They want a welcoming and inclusive environment at their races. I wish Trump wanted a country that was welcoming and inclusive, but at least NASCAR is doing that. So you have this testimony on Capitol Hill on systemic racism. You have people still on the street for days. You've got NASCAR going, we're going to step up to the game. We're not going to allow this soft bigotry of Confederate flags. And Trump is saying, in response to his Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, saying, we are examining the military installations named after Confederate military leaders, and we might rename them. I'm not sure how many people were pushing for the renaming, but he was at least considering it. Trump comes out today and puts out a tweet that's not going to happen. Let me give you a couple examples of who these military leaders that are named, that their names are on, are taxpayer-funded military installations. Again, we pay for their names. So if you're not comfortable with celebrating white supremacy, you might be troubled by their names being on taxpayer-funded institutions. There is Fort Bragg in North Carolina, named after Confederate General Braxton Bragg. He commanded the Army of Tennessee. Then there's Fort Lee in Virginia, named after Robert E. Lee, slave owner. We know that story. Fort Pickett in the Virginia National Guard installation near Blackstone, Virginia. Pickett left the U.S. Army, like Robert E. Lee, to join the Confederacy and led Confederate troops at Gettysburg. And the list goes on. All these military leaders turned their back on the United States. They were traitors to our nation. They took up arms to kill American citizens in the name of the Confederacy. Let's put that in perspective. They took up arms to kill U.S. citizens, members of the United States of America, for the Confederate States of America, a nation that had its own constitution, its own currency, their own uniforms. This is a celebration of traitors who killed Americans. And Trump defends it. And let's be brutally blunt here. You have people on the right who try to pretend the Confederacy was about states' rights or whatever. They wanted freedom or independence. Let's look at the words of the actual vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, in a famous speech in Savannah, Georgia on March 21st, 1861. This speech is known as the Cornerstone speech, as in the cornerstone of the Confederacy. And here Alexander Stephens tells the world, tells America, but the world, the cornerstone of the Confederacy. And let me read some of it. It's vile, but this is what the Confederacy was about. He said, its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. The Vice President of the Confederacy goes on to say, this is our new government. It is the first in the history of the world based on this great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. And he goes on to say, with us, all of the white race, however high or low, rich or poor, are all equal in the eyes of the law. Not so with the Negro. Subordination is his place. When you hear Donald Trump or anyone else defend Confederate statues, understand this is a celebration of the Confederacy. And the Confederacy, their cornerstone, as the Vice President told us unabashedly, is the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that the slavery subordination is the natural state. That's what Trump is defending. Trump knows this. It's dog whistle to his base. And Trump's going to get worse. These poll numbers being horrible. He might fly a Confederate flag from the White House next. Who knows? He'll have Klan night at the White House. This might seem ridiculous. It's possible. And one other thing to add to this, these military bases named after these leaders, guess when it was done? It wasn't done before the Civil War. It was done after the Civil War in the South during Jim Crow South. In fact, many of them were built and named in 1910, 17, and 18. What else was going on then? The boom of building Confederate statues. This was not happenstance. This was a coordinated effort by the children and descendants of the losers from the Confederacy to show black people that white people are still superior. We may have lost the North. We're still superior. And we're going to put up statues, huge statues. And we're going to name our military bases after people who fought to kill U.S. citizens, who fought in the name of white supremacy. And Donald Trump defends it. It's remarkable. Donald Trump is behind NASCAR. I'm not saying NASCAR is racist. I'm just saying he is slower than NASCAR to change. He's also decades behind Leonard Skinner, who banned Confederate flags decades ago at their concerts. So that's where we are. To sum up, while America is in the midst of a conversation on confronting racism, Donald Trump is in the midst of defending symbols of racism. That's America, folks. We've got a great show tonight. We're going to cover police brutality and ways to really approach it. That I hope is going to be helpful. We have Ed Chung, a former DOJ civil rights attorney, joining us. He's now at the Center for American Progress. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence from Michigan. And then Elie Mystal from The Nation is going to join us for a full hour, the third hour, talk about a bunch of issues and more. Again, my show is live, SiriusXM Progress Channel 127, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you tune in. Thanks for tuning in to the little open here. And if you don't have SiriusXM, you can go to the website. There's always these free offers to try it out for a few days or weeks or months, in fact. Secondly, my Facebook page, I post clips all the time, facebook.com/Dean of Radio. Thanks for tuning in.